Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. So, this is the second session or second interactive session as far as Ask Me Anything is concerned. So, just to give you a quick glimpse into how this came up. So, the platform was actually designed so that we could be there with you, answer any questions that you may have. This could be around your careers, could be around your jobs, could be around mentoring, could be about your summer internships, anything that's on your mind, anything that needs to be taken out of your mind so that you're able to focus on the projects or the work that you are up to. So anything small that comes up for you has to be here on the platform so that we are able to answer those queries, and help you uh, build a perspective around a few things. So in the first session that we had 15 days ago, we spoke about mindset. So how these sessions are structured is, we have a mentor who talks to you about one particular area that's important. Some tips and tricks that could possibly help you navigate through your summers or through your jobs better. And we have 40 to 45 minutes, which are dedicated for you to ask questions, for us to, answer those questions. So if you missed out the first episode, it's on our YouTube channel. So please go there and check it out. But we're very happy to have you all here today. So we have Dr. Srinivas Chunduru, who is going to be the mentor for this particular session. He's going to be talking about careers, and he's going to talk about some of the skill sets that you should build to accelerate your own growth, accelerate your own progress as far as summers and as far as your jobs are concerned. So, just as a quick introduction to him, so he spent more than 2 decades working in different CXO roles, right from heading the strategy, mergers and acquisitions to heading HR, and his last stint with the Piramal Group was heading the business. He was the CEO of Piramal Housing Finance. It's been almost 3 years now since VANS Skilling and Advisory actually took birth. So Srini is the founder of VANS Group that has VANS Skilling and Advisory and VANS Investment. So he's going to talk a little bit about that. And he's been associated with B schools and with students in different capacities, from being a teacher to being a mentor to being on the boards of different colleges, helping them design their curriculums, helping them design their own strategies. And he's mentored more than 15,000 students so far. So idea is, for us to actually tap into this experience that he brings in, and actually ask a few questions from his experience, things that he has seen in his career and things that would actually help you guys, like I said, accelerate your own career. So Srini, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And Meenu, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. It would be great if some of you can, or all of you can, switch on your cameras. Then there's always a positive correlation of a name to a face. So request you to kindly switch on your camera. Thank you. Yeah. So first of all, I genuinely hope that all of you are taking care of being safe and being indoors and not venturing out, given the uncertain times that each one of us are going through as families or as individuals. Yeah. So as Meenu has said, we will divide this conversation into two parts, probably 10, 15 minutes of I speaking about what has been my experience in terms of certain facets that you need to pick up from being successful in your career, and then I'll take a Q&A. Few thumb rules: ask as many questions as possible. It's not that on daily basis each of you will chat with me or I will chat with you. So ask as many questions. I'm open to answer those questions. No question is silly, because if it is silly for you, it may be really complex for somebody else. So make it very informal, and don't call me sir. You can call me Srini. That's absolutely fine. Happy to see some of people who are working with me as summer interns. Couple of them, I can see that. Yeah. All right. So I think I'll start by saying that I'll be fooling myself and fooling you if I have to tell you that there's a template for success. Yeah, I don't think there's any template for success, which means you know thou shall do this, rule number one, rule number two, and therefore you should be successful. But it's some flavors that you need to pick up. Career is your own career, and therefore the success mantras has to be what you evolve. So only here from that perspective that what is experience of others 100% is not copyable. Yeah, you are your own role model. Let's start with that premise. All right. While Meenu has introduced, I'll just quickly give a glimpse of my career, and I'll pick up some threads out of that to share what has been my experience and probably what worked for me. Yeah, maybe I'll start with that. I'm an engineer, a gold medalist engineer, and from a reputed engineering school. Good student, but a bad engineer, which means I know nothing about engineering. I would have scored good marks, and that's an honest confession. Uh, which means I actually knew which were important chapters, what was the pattern in engineering. I knew which books to read, and how to tweak the exam system, if I can say. And I'm being honest. Yeah, I was never passionate about being an engineer, but it's always at a very young age you make your career decision. So I made that. I did my MBA in so-called specialization called finance. Okay, I'm using the word so-called because I believe nobody can be a specialist. It's only a fool's paradise that we say somebody specializes in finance, marketing major, HR minor. Frankly, those are all more administrative, university administrative things than real life in that sense. I joined as a management trainee in Piramal Group. 32 of us joined as management trainees from 15 odd B schools. We all joined in. There was very limited systems, and so therefore, when it came to my turn after 3 days of induction, they told me, "You are a finance major. I will, we will give you a finance position." I said, "Very good. What is the position?" So they told me that the position is of vendor payment, and you have to go to a plant called Mahad. For some of you, and I'm using this with respect, it's a godforsaken location in between Bombay and Goa, where between Piramal and couple of companies, everybody is employed over there. I mean, it's a very small village. So I was surprised saying that MBA, finance, engineering, gold medalist, reputed, and vendor payment. You know, so I was little foxed. Okay. I went to HR and I said, "Ki I'll do if you're forcing me because I have no choice. I mean, I've joined and now I can't go back to campus because campus is over now, right? So I have no choice but to, join you guys. But I don't think it's fair because my imagination of finance is, treasury, and my imagination is merger acquisition, and you're putting me in vendor payment." So HR gave me a very interesting, counter offer. They told that one of the students who was to join from Jamnalal Bajaj has not joined in. Okay. Now he is a marketing specialization. There's a sales position available. Do you want to take up that? That's the only thing we can do because we can't create a job for you. We never promised you treasury job. You have imagined. Okay. I took a punt. I said, let me try sales. I mean, it's something not very natural to my style. And, when you are very young, you always have a chip on the shoulder that I'm doing finance. Why should I do sales? But intuition told me, let me do sales. I joined sales. So I was a frontline salesperson selling products to the distributors and the OEMs and others to sell. Literally a salesperson. I won't even sugarcoat it by saying I was doing marketing. I was doing 99% sales. Couple of people used to report to me, etc. I started enjoying it. Yeah. Perhaps I did it for 4.5 years. Yeah, 4.5 years. I was one of the youngest zonal sales head, heading three states: Maharashtra, MP, and Gujarat. Yeah. So I was enjoying. I was growing. Team was large. Team was at least 10 years. Average age of the team was higher than me, and I understood some tricks of that trade. Okay, and I'm being very honest and real in what I'm saying. End of 4.5 years, once I had a major argument with my boss on something, on budgets or something like that. So I felt very bad going back home in the evening, and I told myself that I should leave this company now. Okay. Till then, I have not floated my resume anywhere. At the end of 4.5 years, I started floating my resume and started talking to people. couple of agencies I met. I mean, I didn't know much at that point of time. So everybody whoever was talking to me was offering me a sales job. So they told me there is a position available in TVS, there's a position available in Maruti, but it was hardcore sales. Now that made me think, what did I sign up in my career? I always wanted to do something in finance and something of so-called strategy. So I have signed in sales. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but is this the career I want to do? I don't know. Now that's where I started feeling, boss, 4 years are up. Now I'm called a salesman, whichever designation, regional manager, national manager, those are hierarchy. But I will be stuck to sales. Was I enjoying? Answer is yes. Do I see a long-term career? Answer is no. Yeah. Luck favored, and in interest of time, I won't go into that history. I got one opportunity in my life to till that point of time. Ajay Piramal, who was chairman of Piramal Group, was my role model from B school. Every Business India, Business Today, Business World article of his, I would know by heart. I would understand the annual report. So for me, he was a role model. Coincidentally, I got into that company. Yeah, I never met him in these 4 years, right? Because I was in a sales in a particular division, and that division itself was so small that his attention was not there so much. So my boss used to meet, and I used to get excited that my boss met chairman, right? So I have only seen two-dimension Ajay Piramal by then. I have never seen him three-dimension. I got one occasion to meet him at this juncture, exactly at this juncture where I was thinking, what have I done with my career? I got into sales. What do I do? And it was a 5 minute conversation or an opportunity HR gave me to tell him what I do. Okay. And the brief HR gave me was, be very positive, because we are positioning saying that young management trainees have done wonders in the group, and you are being showcased as one of the role model management trainees because you grew very fast in sales. Okay. So HR kind of coached me, and it's a 5 minute presentation I had to make to him, essentially saying that I am God's gift to mankind, and take B school graduates, and we have done wonders to your company. That's what the briefing we had. I made my slides, showed it to HR. HR said, wonderful slides. I thought in the night, I said, this is one chance in my life to meet this man whom I've never met. Always he was my role model, right? So why should I lie to this man? Worst case, what will happen? They would not sack me, because after conversation with the chairman, if they sack, things are don't look good. So I thought, let me take a chance and tell him very bluntly what I feel like. In the 5 minute conversation, I spoke facts for 3 minutes. Last 2 minutes, I told that I'm supposed to talk about my future in the group. I told I see my future as very bleak future in the group, because I signed up for something, I landed up in something. There is nobody to listen to me. So I don't think I'm going to continue forever. The moment I get one non-sales opportunity outside, I'm out of this group. And in many ways, I don't see my future in the group. Yeah, this is a man who's one of the top 30 billionaires in India. Everyone in the room was shocked. Ki, what did we train this guy, and what is he talking about? I went back to office. My boss, I don't want to use the word, but he had his day, gala day with me. Okay. And I was little bindas, because I was very confident they won't sack me, for a simple reason: I have a track record. And second, I thought, you know, immediately if they sack, it speaks very bad on them that they are not encouraging open speaking. So I said 6 months at least they'll give me. I'll find a job in 6 months. That was running in my mind. I got a call from Mr. Piramal's office, and they told me that Mr. Piramal wants to meet you. I said, what have I done now? At that time, I was a little tensed, saying that, Ki boss, did I really overdo what I was supposed to do? Because when you are in flow, there's no control, right? I was in front of 50 people. I spoke quite a few things and stuff, okay? And I was literally thinking, what do I tell this man if he says, Ki boss, if you're so negative, why are you continuing in our company? Something he will say. And especially my boss told whatever he abused me or shouted at me, it was in my mind. I said, let's see. I went. He shook hands with me. First time I'm meeting him, seeing him three dimension. He sat. He asked me one question. He said, I'm very clear you're not happy with what you're doing. Tell me what you want to do. I will see what I can do. That's the only question he asked me. Honestly, I had no clue because I was not prepared mentally to tell him. I told him, sir, I want to do strategy. He said, okay, let me think and tell you. That's a meeting, 2 minutes meeting. End of the week, HR calls me and says that now you join Ajay Piramal's office as a strategy manager. Yeah. So just imagine, karma came back, and from B school where I used to read Business India to say that I should get a glimpse of the man. Here is the man. I was working with him. Probably 6 7 years I directly worked with him, different side, different angle. And I took a chance at that time. And he asked me this question: you're talking about strategy, but now your finance fundas must be goal, because last 4 5 years you have not done anything. I said, no, give me 1 month's time, I think I should be able to do. And by then I was teaching in B schools, so my fundas of finance were fairly clear but theoretical, because I've never applied those. So 6 7 years I worked with him in the areas of strategy, merger acquisitions, core finance, grew in that. I was president in his office in 6 years flat after that. Then one day he called me and he told me, way back in 2010 or 11, he called me and said, now you become the group HR head or CHRO. Yeah. In a lighter sense, it appeared to me that you're asking Akshay Kumar to play a role of Shyam Benegal's movie, an art movie. Yeah, suddenly from core finance and merger acquisition, suddenly you're going to HR, right? So I gave a thought. I spoke to a couple of my mentors, if I can say so, and I told, he's asking me, I didn't ask him. Okay. So therefore, he will not expect me to be a perfect HR person, because I know nothing and he knows that. So therefore, he's taking a bet. Let me also try it out. I went, I became the HR head. 5 years, I was the group CHRO, 16,000 employees, 100 odd employees in HR. Most direct reportees of me were much more experienced and qualified than I was in HR, but I managed it. And finally, I landed up as the CEO for financial service. And I started my own venture along with Meenu. I've co-started this company, VANS Skilling, and a couple of more companies in last 3 years. Yeah. The reason I told you my story is, something worked for me. So that's what I want to share in next 4 minutes, so that time-wise, happy to take questions. I think first, I think this whole funda of specialization is only to start your career. Okay, you are a finance person, marketing person, HR person, operations person, only to start a career, because you have to start somewhere. You can't be a general manager, but you are being hired for your general management skills. I think that's one mantra we should be clear. I hate when somebody tells me that I took finance because I hate interacting with people, or I'm not comfortable. Sorry, when you are VP in 10 years, 15, 20 years, you will manage a team of 60 people. You are more of HR manager than a finance manager, correct? So one, remember that, don't ignore any specialization. You as an MBA, and I'm saying, since I know Akash, I'm just taking liberty. Akash, God bless you. You are from a premium B school, and I am Udaipur, and tomorrow some company comes to you and offers to you. Company has a choice of taking an MBA finance versus taking a chartered accountant. They chose you not because your finance knowledge is more deeper than CA. It is not, because their training is much more intense in finance. It is because you bring in general management skills. Yeah. So remember that knowing minimum basics of other specialization is most often ignored. Okay. While you should be specialist to start, be a general manager. I think that's first lesson I can share with you. Secret of success, if I can say so. Second is, you may, like, I worked predominantly in one company for 20 years, but nature of business has kept changing. Piramal used to be a pharma company, which became a packaging company, which became a financial service company, which became a real estate company over a period of time. Tata Group, if somebody works for 20 years, it used to be a steel and steel and automobile company. Today, TCS is 95% of the value of the company. So Tata also has changed. Reliance has changed. Everybody changes their face, or you change jobs. So the second skill that you need to pick up is understanding what drives business. I mean, some of you may not know Hindi, but let me use this word. धंधा में पैसा कहाँ से है? That means the moment you look at any business or case study, irrespective of the nature of case study, question you should answer to yourself is saying that, where is money in this? If I'm drawing an imaginary profit and loss account, what would be the line items of that? You could be an HR person, doesn't matter, finance, marketing. I think that's the second important aspect that you need to pick up from a success. The conversations as you keep growing in an organization is around business, is very limited around your functional area. If tomorrow Akash becomes an accounting expert, for example, or Tista becomes an accounting expert, the CEO is not going to ask you saying that, please explain to me, AS 121. Yeah. He is going to say, tell me, where am I looking in next 6 months? Should I raise funds, or what do you think, or what drive? Where should I push more for? Right. So understanding business, I think, second important aspect. Third aspect, I think, is we should have an intellect humility of using first principles. None of us. I worked for 23 years. This is 23 third year of my work life. Okay. None of us are experts. We all learn. For example, somebody who worked in Piramal in pharma must be a pharma expert. At some point of time, he needs to understand, or she needs to understand financial services, correct? So I think very important to use first principles. When I say first principles, if I have to understand a new industry and I don't know 50% of industries, in India, there must be about 100 odd industries. I may at best know 20, 30, maybe more. I don't know, right? So if I have to learn about an industry, I use very fundamental principles of talking to people, talking to experts, talking to consultants, almost going like a student to tell, I know nothing about it. Can you help me to learn? Talk to one person, improve the sharpness of your questions. So have that intellect humility to pick up from as many people as possible as you keep moving. I think that's the third principle to say so. I think fourth, principle or secret of success, if I can, kind of say so, is how do you manage your teams? Yeah. Now, for example, everyone may not have a strength of being a coach or having conversations, having those intense I don't have. Okay. I don't have. I'm not born with that skill of having easy conversations with people in that sense to say so. But be people centric, which means you need to know what are the strengths of the people. If I have to, I see Ketki over here. So if Ketki has to be put into a job role, what's her strength? What do I do? What should I not give her? Because some areas she may not be good at. If Prashant Chand has to do something, what is that he needs to do? So I think all those elements that we need to understand deeply about the people, to say so. Yeah. So I think that's the fourth area that we kind of talked about. Yeah. Fifth area, and very, very important. Okay. And in my view, grossly neglected in the corporate world, is be very financially prudent from the day you start your career. This is more to do with your personal finances than the company finances or something like that. What does it mean? You have to have a savings target. You have to have an investment style from day zero of you working, right? You have to have a an eye on saying, where do I save, where do I invest, where do I grow. A lot of people take pride in saying that I'm a great finance professional, but I don't know how to invest money. That's how stupid can that be? As a management professional, the worst set of people, okay, are people, if they cannot create wealth for themselves, how can they create wealth for organizations? Now that's a simple funda. If somebody is not fiscally disciplined, how can they ever discipline an organization? So in fact, when I set up the housing finance company and I was CEO, one of the things I used to always look for at senior management is I used to always look at their CIBIL scores. I used to see their pattern behavior of their own personal finance. Okay. And the logic I used to have in my mind is, if at that level, reporting to a CEO, if the people are not able to manage their own lives, what will they manage anything else? Yeah. Now, this last part in India, we don't talk much about it because, we are all trained to say that भगवान ने जो दिया बहुत हो गया है, ईश्वर की कृपा, greedy नहीं होना चाहिए. I'm saying don't be greedy, but be smart in that. Yeah. So the moment you are smart and in 10, 15, 20 years, you have this power of financial backup for you, you have a choice at some point of time. When you have a financial backup, at some stage you say that, Ki boss, enough I've worked. Let me do something which I'm passionate about. I'm not obliged now to work because, I'm giving an example. Anyone is not obliged to work at this point of time, but sometimes you will think, I have EMIs, I have this, I have that, I'm married, I have kids. But if you're financially prudent at some stage in your life, 15, 20 years in life, you can just take a call saying, this is not my calling. I want to be a painter. One extreme, I'm saying, I want to be a teacher. You can make career choices. I want to do some social impact. I want to join politics. That's your choice. So I think keep that fiscal prudence from day zero, because I think that's one management science not many people talk about. Yeah. So these were some 4 or 5 things. I think I've been given 15 minutes. I exceeded by 5 minutes. So I think these were some 4 or 5 things that I have picked up and I've kind of followed in my life. Uh, Whatever little success I had in my life essentially was that. Yeah. So over to you, Meenu. That's what I just wanted to share and open for questions now.
So, guys, over to you rather. So, if you have any questions, anything specific that stood out for you from this session, feel free to ask. Or if you have any other question that was on your mind with that objective you came in for this session, really all yours. So, go ahead and
Yeah.
ask those
And there is
questions.
no structure. Feel free to ask anything, except that please don't outsource your projects and assignments to me. Barring that, I'm open to answer any questions.
Sure. So the thing is that I'm
Sorry,
confused.
your voice is not audible.
Am I audible now?
Very feebly. Are you on microphone or
I'm on earphones, yeah. So
can you take out your earphone? Probably there's some problem in the earphones.
okay, okay, sure.
Introduce yourself and ask me a question.
So my name is Ruben. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
from St. Francis
yeah,
Institute of Management and
yeah,
Research.
yeah.
Um, am I audible better now?
Much better.
Sure. Okay, so the thing is that I'm confused between taking retail or going into media. What would you suggest? Like, which industry has more scope, retail or media? As of now, looking at the current conditions after COVID's impact.
Okay, let me take one.
So one more
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead, go
Could
ahead.
you tell us a little bit about the job roles, the more like which job roles in these respective industries have more job opportunities?
Okay, your question is little theoretical and contextual, but let me attempt to answer. I think very important to know one thing that you are 20 something, each one of you on the call are 20 something. You have 40 more years to work on a career. So don't look for now and here. COVID is there now. Hopefully, months from today or a year from today, COVID is not there. So don't make your decisions based on what you see now. Yeah. So keep that in mind to say so. I think, in general, I'm saying in general, and this is my personal perspective, while you have opportunities in both the sectors, in terms of number of opportunities and how do I put it? Uh, Complexity of opportunities and variety of opportunities, retail provides you much higher compared to a media. Again, media is a wonderful industry. I'm referring to from a variety perspective. The reason behind that is India is at a cusp where the whole experience of retailing is changing. It is becoming super specialist to usage of technology, to usage of big data, to usage of e-commerce, to usage of multiple things to talk about. So the advancement of retail in India is probably where US was 30 years back, and India is fast catching up that difference to say so. So therefore a lot of opportunities and employment opportunities within retail to say so. And in terms of very quickly, and offline, you can ask a question. I'll be more detailed because I would want others also to speak. In general, retail, I think there are 3, 4 opportunities for marketing students. One would be a floor management slash market, sales kind of a role, which is essentially you manage a set of people, a set of product lines, which means you are responsible for people, you are responsible for customers, you are responsible for understanding the trends and host of those things. That's one area where a lot of MBAs go there. The second area is little specialized, what we call as merchandising kind of an area, which means you understand the trends in that particular sect. You know where to procure. You know what are the likely emerging issues which are likely to come. Okay. You know the vendors quite well. You know the patterns of what is it. You know the local laws of procuring those things. Uh, Host of those, which means it is a semi marketing, semi customer insights, semi procurement kind of a role. I think that's another popular role called merchandiser. The third role is very interesting, which is more to do with customer loyalty. Gone are the days where you are a customer, you get some points, you use those points. Customer loyalty was very, very mundane earlier days. Nowadays, with arrival of cred and other options that you're coming about, it has become a technology play. Customer has become a technology play, and a lot of MBAs get into that as well. So I think, assuming that you want to specialize in marketing basis your question, these are some 3 4 important areas that people get into. There are enough and more jobs in retail tech, if I can say so, be it AGO to be it Amazon to be it Ola, to any of these companies which are retail but in a different fashion, to say so. They call themselves as e-tail. So these are some of this. I hope I answered your question, Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes,
am I audible?
very very clear, Vishal.
Okay. So actually, my question is, when it comes to tech companies, so we are all in MBA colleges, we are all about FMCGs and media,
Yeah,
and this is the mainly approach of all and what we are bombarded with.
yeah.
But when it comes to tech companies, as I'm an engineer and I have experience in the technology part.
Okay, okay.
So when it comes to tech companies, what should be our approach in marketing? As in, I have got an opportunity in my previous company to establish a marketing of a discipline marketing department. So
Okay.
what should be my approach in that?
So when you say approach, can you just be a little more clearer on that?
Approach as in, I mean, how should I proceed with like to get the goal to how to, like, they are starting from establishing the whole marketing department. They want
Okay.
my inputs into that.
So, Vishal, as you know, when you say technology, there are 4 different sets of companies. You have IT hardware companies, you have IT app maintenance systems, and for want of better word, okay. The context of your question varies. Uh, I will just have to switch off my camera because I think the bandwidth is lower. By switching off the camera, probably I can be more clearer. Yeah. Yeah. So, Vishal, what happens is, I'll give you an example. You have a choice of getting to a company like, let's say, HCL Products, okay, which is an IT hardware company. Now, the next,
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
The company is about electronics and renewable energy, like solar and windmill.
So it's really not a tech company. It is more of a, I'll put it as a B2B marketplace, marketing company, if I can say so. Yeah. So I think,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, because, tech means many things to many people. And,
Actually,
there's a
there is one
background noise coming in.
department of
One second, Vishal.
electronics.
Vishal, one second.
Sorry.
There's a background noise coming in. Yeah. Yeah, Vishal, go ahead now.
So I was saying that this company is also specialized in electronics and embedded products. So they are more into electrical and electronics, and the technology part is also there. So there are many departments in that.
No, no, I understand, but that way, just to counter what you are saying, even FMCG company has got a lot of technology in that. If you are establishing e-commerce through FMCG, or you have got a SAP system, so technology is there everywhere. So let's not mix up product with solutions at this point of time. But I understood broadly what you have said. So here is what my point is. I think marketing, the word marketing is little more glamorous, and therefore probably in that context you are using or you have been told about that. In a B2B environment, the classic marketing may not work the way you imagine, which means brand building, product management, brand management, so on and so forth, may not be very relevant over there. In a B2B context, it's more of a corporate brand building, okay, key account management, large account management, etc., which means the upper layer of sales business development is marketing. Nothing wrong in that, but don't imagine that it would be similar to doing an FMCG marketing. What you have to ask yourself is, what are your strengths, okay? And when you are doing a B2B marketing slash BD, what are the strengths being leveraged or not? I think that matching is what you'll have to do yourself. Potential is immense, because one of the scarce skill in India today is B2B marketing. Very honestly, B2C marketing, you have enough supply. Hindustan Levers has given enough people, Nirma has given enough people, Marico has given enough people. As you rightly said, in B school, it is overly washed in that sense. B2B is a very niche, okay? Very, very niche. So if you start off your career into this and get into a B2B marketing, BD kind of a role, uh, God bless you, retire from this company. But should you want to change after 4 or 5 years, etc., opportunities are immense. You can move to an IT company, you can move to a product tech company, you can move to a, let's say an automobile company where B2B sales become much more important. You can go to any solution companies. You can probably go to a consulting company as well. So therefore, my suggestion to you is that I don't know the company, assume the company is good. It's a very good role where you will understand depth of the industry much more than what it would have been at a distribution level. Yeah. Hope I answered your question, Vishal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So, sir, I have a question. Am I audible?
Yeah, Jinkya.
Okay. So, sir, when we are working in a company for a shorter period, like maybe an internship or a live project,
Yeah.
so how to build relations with seniors in the particular company and the industry so as we can leverage them for our future growth as well, and
Sure.
especially for a person who doesn't have any previous corporate experience.
Sure. And don't feel alone. 90% of the students in MBA don't have past experience. So you're
Yes,
not
sir.
alone. Yeah. So I think 2, 3 things. Quote unquote, relationship with an organization is never personal relationship. It is a need based relationship. It is a issue based relationship. So therefore, if you meet somebody, you exchange visiting cards, you talk to the people, you're nice to the people. 6 months from there, he may remember you or he may not remember, she may remember and may not remember. Yeah. So here what I'm suggesting is develop a work related relationship with people. What does it mean? You are doing a project, you have a boss, you are doing a summer project. For example, let's say you are doing a project on, what's your summer project? If you can just say, I'll take that as an example rather than giving
It's
a,
market research, competitive analysis.
okay, market research on behalf of a consumer company.
No, sir. It's manufacturing company.
No, I understand, but the products are a consumer products,
No, sir.
B2C
No, sir.
products.
B2B.
Yeah, B2.
B2B kind of. Those are actually used products for plants, etc.
Okay, so it's a B2B product.
B2B. Yes, sir.
So, market research, when you are saying, for example, then you figure out within the company who are the senior salespeople in the company. Okay. Who come from different companies, who come from different experience. Once you Google little bit and study little bit, you have a preliminary understanding. Seek meetings with those people. And the tone of the meeting should be, I'm trying to find out more about the markets. Instead of just relying on secondary research, I want primary research. I need your guidance to understand, okay, to understand more about the industry. Be prepared for those meetings. Okay. In the meetings, impress upon them the homework that you have already done. Ask them sharp questions. You can't ask, sir, tell me about the industry. You'll have to ask specific questions. What is the application of this? In which case have we lost the competition? Why do you think? What are the reasons? What are areas of improvement? Very specific things that you need to ask. Once you have that conversation, follow up with a thank you note to him saying that you have given me this experience. Thank you. And once you finish your report, send it to those people saying that thanks to you, because of you, we could finish this report. Yeah. And after that, when you come back to your B school and you are reading some articles, for example, if those articles are somewhere related and interesting, start sending to those people saying that you may remember me and this was article which I relate to you. Okay. I'm just giving that as an example to say so. So the idea is hit onto a conversation, leverage knowledge of people, keep it as a continuous loop. That's how relationships are built. Yeah. So make it a, work related, knowledge transfer related relationship. It works.
Yes,
Did
sir.
I answer your question, Ajinkya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, am I
Yeah,
audible?
Yeah, clear.
Yes. So my question is, like, as a fresher, when we sit for placements, so should we analyze the companies on the basis of the role that they are coming for, or should we focus on the brand name and the package that they are giving? Because many times we won't be able to analyze, like, understand the role till the time we work. So should we focus on the companies or the role? That's
Okay.
what my question is.
Good question, Tista. I think let me give you a answer. The most best case scenario: great brand, great role, great salary. Okay, but the hard reality is, and I'm saying this positively to encourage you people. But hard reality is, which Tista you've been hearing from me for last so many times, that there are 4,200 B schools in India. Okay. If I take out the top 50 B schools, 51st B school to 300 B schools, the kind of companies, nature of companies would be slightly here and there. Okay. So the competition is immense for B schools in general. Okay, it's not about McKinsey alone because we have colleagues from all over. I'm just saying that as an example. So therefore, all three coming in to your let's say bag is a difficult situation. It's a desirable situation, god bless you get it, but it's a difficult situation. Yeah. So if I were you, the way I would look at is, number one I would look for is the role. Okay. Now role cannot be at a pathetic salary. Okay. So I don't want to throw any numbers because we have a combination of B schools and the range of salaries vary between B schools. So I'll take example of 100 as an example. If 100 is the average median salary that industry is paying, okay, if the role is superb, if they're paying you 60, there's no point in that, because 60 and 100 is life changing amounts at this stage. Yeah. So therefore you should be okay to look at 20% here and there on salary if the role is very good. How do you see whether the role is good or not? Simply look at how important are you in that organization, whichever you join in. Are you one of the 15,000 people and there are 20 layers between you and the management? Is there one layer, two layers, three layers? Okay. What is the kind of the background of the people? Okay. Is there a stability in this set of people? Do you think they'll have financial muscle in general or not? Right. So I think that, and what you'll also have to think through is that, because if things work out, and I'm not saying there's no guarantee of things working out, if things work out, can I really get into the management in 5 years because I'm taking a chance? See, when you're looking for a lesser brand, little lesser salary, okay, you need to get rewarded somewhere in life, right? You can't always be, right? Just because good role, right? So you have to say that, boss, do I get a chance of becoming a VP in this company in 5 years? Then you kind of move into those places to say so. Yeah. But remember, again, I'm saying this with responsibilities. Every year there are 4.5 lakh startups which start. 4.5 lakhs. Okay. Bangalore leading, followed by Gurgaon, then Mumbai, Pune. Okay. So don't get overly fascinated with the small setups as well. Go a little deeper into that. Are these 20, are these fresh college pass outs who are trying something with the pocket money? Should I not? Ask some questions. Are they stable people? Would funding come to this profile of people, not come? Do your calculations there. Yeah. So if I were you, and if I am not overly burdened by the financials, and everybody has personal financial obligations, if I'm not overly burdened with that, I would look for profile. I would look for salary to say that it should not be very low. Okay. Third, I would look for brand, but brand of an organization, I won't overly peg that. Okay. I would look for brand of association of the people with that. Correct. For example, at least from the names I can make out, there are different B school students here. There. I will not name, a big FMCG company in India, which is a dream company for most of the students to say so, recruits MBAs at 3 levels. Okay. One is a group management training. And let's say salaries are 100. They go to IMA, BCL, XLRI, MDI, a few schools, ISB. 100 is the salary. Then they have business management trainees, and probably the salaries are 70. And they go to the next rung of colleges. Then they have something called sales officer training. MBAs ko hi lete hain. And probably the salaries are 55, 60. Okay. Now, if I'll talk for myself. If I were a student, big brand, dream company, but if I'm going at a sales officer trainee, am I better off there or am I better off somewhere else where I'm getting paid 65, 70 where I'm not third layer in the scheme of things. So you'll have to be a little smart about, analyzing this and move into that to say so. Yeah. So pure profile without salary is theoretical. Okay. And look for kind of people you are going to work with. That's very important. That makes a lot of a difference. Yeah. All right. Thanks, TEESTA. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing this doubt, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else has a question?
So good afternoon, sir. This is Divya Agrawal.
Yeah.
My video.
Divya, your voice is cracking. Do you want to put the question on the chat, Divya? Somehow your voice is cracking. We'll move to the next question. Divya, I request you to put the question on the chat and happy to answer that. Yeah.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, much better. Go ahead.
Okay, so sir, you talked about personal finance. Like from day zero, you should start investing or saving some amount of money.
Yeah.
So sir, my question is that since let's say at a very starting age when you're starting your career, you won't be able to catch much amount of money from the company. Like your salary would be like very low or in the medium.
Yeah.
In that case, your expenses would be like much more high.
Mhm.
So in that case also, should we start investing or saving the money?
Okay. So I think, good question, Divya. No money is enough. That's human nature. Okay. What is medium money? What is low money? High money is a state of mind. Let me put it this way. Even if you start off saving $5,000 or $3,000 a month, that's good enough money to start your planning for your investments. Investment doesn't mean you need to do 50 lakh rupees a month. Even if it is $5,000 that you save, and I'm sure each one of you would be able to save much more than that. I'm just giving you a bottomest figure. Kharcha varcha nikalne ke baad $5,000. Start investing. See, investment is not about your smartness. It is about your discipline. Okay. It is about your lifestyle. It is about your style of functioning of life or your DNA. So whether it is 5,000, 5 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 5 crores, doesn't really matter. You have to have a pattern of investments. Yeah. And, it should be like this, a little philosophical, but I've always followed in my life, and I'm sure many people follow. I'm not unique in that. Is, income minus expense is not savings. Okay. It is actually income minus savings should be your expenses, which means you should target some savings. Because I need to save $10,000, $20,000, whatever your salaries are. Work backwards and say, boss, this is my control, right? And when you start off from that humble living from initial stages, wo burden nahi banta hai. Everybody thinks that, okay, Divya, I'll tell you the life cycle. You must be starting, let's say, sake of discussion, 6, 7, 8 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, whatever, 6 lakh, 7 lakh salary, let's say. Each one of us will feel that that's low money after tax. We will get 40,000 rupees and 30, trust me, God bless you. 5 years from then, if your salary becomes 20, 25 lakhs also, it's the same thinking you will have. It's a human nature because our lifestyle changes with that time to say. So my suggestion is, if I were to advise, and which I advise my children who are young children to say so, is, even in their pocket money, they should start saving some money and start investing. And my kids are school going kids, so pocket money is not very high. It's a discipline that you'll have to do. And, while money is not only thing in life, money does not give you happiness, but money is an important factor. Let's face that fact. What happens by virtue of this is interesting. Let me give you an example. If in year one of working, 5,000 months per 5,000 rupees, you save 60,000 in a year. Imagine 20 years ke baad mein, if you compound it by 12%, as an example, I'm saying, let's say for this discussion, 14, 16, whatever, 12% hi le lo. That means that 60,000 actually becomes close to 9,60,000 by the time you finish 20 years of your life. Yeah, am I correct? Yeah, I'm correct. Yeah, about 9,60,000. So therefore, I think no money is small because there is something called compounding in life, and that keeps moving on. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, Divya.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Sneha is talking about PPIs and PPOs. Okay. Sneha, which college are you from? I'm just curious.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Very, very clear. I know your question, but which college are you from?
So I'm from Birla Institute of Management Technology, Greater Noida.
Okay, cool. Okay. See, 5% to 10% of recruiters have this system of PPOs. Otherwise, PPOs is generally very loosely used. Okay. So some of these companies which have campus programs, including large groups in India, some of the FMCG companies, etc., have a structured program of PPO, which means the day they give you summers, the objective is to observe you for those 2 months and make a PPO. If you get your summers in such companies, okay, then there is a structure, there are parameters that you need to look at. Rest of the companies is more of, how do I put it, you know, you having a better chance to get, it's not really PPI or PPO. Yeah. Having said that, what is that you need to do in your summers to really accelerate what you're doing? I think I'll talk about 2-3 things, and pardon me if I'm very blunt on that. 90% of the students do summers which they don't like, or in a different specialization, or same specialization but a project which they don't want to really do. That's a hard reality. I have enough data over so many years to tell you. Recently we ran a survey. Do you like your summer project? 300 odd students from different colleges have done. 180 of them basically said, "Ki boss, whatever we got, we did." That's a common situation. Nothing to feel bad about it or good about it. Make sure that you do your second summers if you have an iota of doubt on your actual summers, which means you want to make a career in marketing, digital marketing, and your summers is about sales. Quite possible. Don't ignore, you'll have some learnings in scales. But parallelly, you start your second summers, basically saying that, let me stretch little more, 6-8 hours on that project, another 4 hours, let me do my own. I think that's an important aspect. That also shows your ability to stretch. That also shows your ability to, learn new things, your determination to get into an area. And when you go for your placements or something like that, you flash it to your recruiter saying, boss, I have done 2 projects. First project is sales. I was more excited with digital marketing. This is my second project, right? I think that's one area. Second is, do at least one certification during your summers. When I say certification, don't overly get excited that I have to do an NSC certification, BSc. Basic certification. Find out programs. There are enough programs, MOOC programs to some of the organizations doing, to some we do, somebody else does. So many people do that. Pick up one of your choice. Okay. Go through the structure of the certification program. That certificate is important, no doubt, but the learning behind the certificate that you have. All I'm trying to say is that these 2 months, don't take it as college ka 2 months. Take it as 6 months, which means if you are working 4 hours a day, work 12 hours a day. Certification ek ho gaya, second summer project ek ho gaya. I have already told as an answer to Vishal's question on how to do a summers and how to keep in touch with the others to say so. So the idea is psych yourself that summers is your gateway for finals. Okay. And last year placements have not been so good because of COVID. Some trends will continue. But don't worry, if you are among those students who are ready to do a certification, ready to do a second project, there are enough opportunities. And my mantra always has been a good summers is a gateway for a good finals. Yeah, that's where you'll have to do. Participate in some of hackathons, case study competitions. D2C does something, YUGMA does something, Intershala does something. Try doing some of it to improve your exposure. These are 2 things that I would talk about. Did I answer your question, Sneha?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sairaj has sent me a question. Sairaj, which college are you from?
Sir, BITS Pilani.
Okay. So this is the 5-year MBA program, is it?
No, sir. 2-year MBA.
Okay.
General
Okay.
management degree.
And which of the campuses you study in?
Pilani.
Okay.
Main
Pilani.
campus.
No, but BITS Pilani also have some campuses, na?
Yeah. Pilani, Goa, Hyderabad, but we are currently in the main campus, Pilani. Pilani itself a campus.
Sure. Very beautiful campus. Several years back,
sir.
I had a chance to come there. Okay. See, Sairaj, your question is a classic example where you are saying that you have an aspiration of getting into a B2B marketing, let's say, Okay. Whereas your summer project is in sales intern in an FMCG company. Correct? Now, this is a classic situation with 90% of the students. Now, this is where you should do your second project. This is your official project, whatever you want to call it. Do your second summers. Find out, do you get an opportunity for doing a B2B marketing? Can you do a certification with a project? Something like that, and do it parallelly. So that tomorrow, if I am an interviewer, as an example, I'm saying, and I'm looking for B2B, before I ask you this question, your summers is not relevant. You come back and you're essentially saying, hey, dude, I've done 2 projects while I've got this. That was the opportunity available. By the way, I've learned a B2B marketing and this is what I've done. I think that's the way to go about. Yeah. 4 or 5 hours a day kind of stuff. Do a parallel project. Think this 2 months is not yours. Okay. And especially you don't have travel time these days. Okay. Most of you are working from home. You take that opportunity and do your second summers. Yeah. Sairaj, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. I also need to wanted to ask you that how is it different? What should be an approach if you are basically you are expanding a distribution network, right?
Yeah.
The sales center. So
Yeah.
what should be an approach to since you are coming from manufacturing, it's completely different cycle, and if you come towards FMC, it's a completely
No,
different cycle.
frankly, again, use first principles. You do your discovery interviews with half a dozen people before approaching anybody with a strategy. Okay. And you will yourself discover some of the elements that we talk about. Yeah. So, for example, in a B2B, the cycle time of marketing is much larger. Ticket sizes are much larger. Working, working capital cycle is much larger. In an FMCG, margins are lower. Okay. But the working capital cycle is negative working capital. So try understanding those dynamics. Talk to 5, 6 people in discovery phase, which means before you start your project and start going and giving yarn to people, take a deep breath, talk to 5 people, 6 people, small shopkeepers to mid to large, basically saying, I know nothing, I want to learn. When you have an open conversation with those set of people, you will understand the dynamics slightly more to say. But high level, I told you the differences in terms of working capital, cycle time for closure, and decision making. So in an FMCG, for example, the decision makers would be the people whom you meet. In a B2B, there are a lot of invisible gorillas who are the decision maker. You may be meeting the purchase team. Decision maker may be a R&D scientist because they are going to procure that item for their department. Yeah. So I think the intents of mapping and intents of sales cycle would be slightly different. Yeah. And in case you want to have anything specific, email to the email ID that our team is going to share with you, so that we can have a specific conversation around that. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Thank
And
you.
sir, one more question I have, since just because of this COVID, sales sales scenario has been changed. So if you are working as a salesperson, but still the things have been changed. Now we can't go physically at many. There are limitations, restrictions. So how to go about that thing particularly?
Okay, I think world has discovered it, and in the sense that things are happening that way. I think the way to look at it is that when it's a physical meeting, the attention span they have is 30 minutes to 1 hour. When it's a virtual meeting, you have got 15 minutes. That means your preparation has to be twice. You need to know enough about the people whom you are going to talk about, enough about what is going to drive those people, what are those poison for the person. What I meant is what is going to appeal to the person to talk about. Correct. Go through their LinkedIn profile, be prepared with almost like a sharp elevator pitch. That would make a lot of a difference. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay. uh, Recently, as recent as Thursday or Friday, I had a call with set of 4 people. I have never met them physically. One was a chairman of a company, a mid-sized company, 250, 300 crores company. The CEO of the company, promoter of the company, and the vice president operations. 4 people. First time in my life I was meeting them. Okay. They don't even know how I look like. Okay. And there was a proposal which I was supposed to explain to them. They don't even know who am I, right? They must have seen my profile at best. Okay. Now, when I did my some homework, I went through, the company's website. I went through their annual report. I went through some of the YouTube interviews given by the chairman, etc. I kind of realized that what chairman is struggling with, or 1 or 2 issues that the chairman probably is struggling with. That's why he's talking to me. Otherwise, he won't talk, right? And that was corroborated with some YouTube videos, interviews he gave, and what annual report talked about. Instead of starting my presentation by saying that, we are fans and we are doing this and we have this guy as a customer, we are God's gift to mankind, I had one slide which basically said that, are you facing these challenges? Okay. And it had 3 points. Now that resonated so well with the chairman, saying, boss, this guy knows what he's talking because he knows our problems. Do I really know the company? I don't know. I've done 2-3 hours of homework for that meeting. Correct? No. So therefore, what happened is it started off by I hitting correct notes with those guys. And I was very confident of that for a reason that I've done some homework before that, right? So that's a sales pitch I was doing at that point of time, correct? So I think that kind level of preparation is what you will require for doing that. Yeah. By the way, Google later on, and probably you connect with Meenu, who's kind of specialist in that, of what we call as LAMP, Large Account Management Program. How do you kind of identify people, map them, talk to them in a language understood by them? There are some techniques for that. Yeah. Yeah, Sairaj?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. Yeah. Any more questions?
So I have a question.
Yeah. So TEESTA, every time you ask me a question, I'll have to charge you now. Yeah. Go ahead.
So my question is that is it better to do PhD right after your MBA or get some work experience and then do a PhD?
Okay. Why do you want to do a PhD?
I want to do something, some specialization which I like. I'm in finance. I'll do something related to finance. I've not thought
So,
about it, but
okay.
want
In
to.
India, in India,
No,
hard
abroad.
reality is, no, that's okay. You can study wherever, but I'm talking about PhD. You do PhD not for a corporate job elevation. Corporate job elevation and PhD have no connection. Should you want to make a career in teaching, academics in India or abroad, PhD is a must have. Okay? Clear? So therefore, assume that you have interest in research and academics. That's why you're asking that question. Yeah. All right. Because in a normal corporate career, may help, may not help kind of stuff.
But the research thing also works in like companies also, like
Not
they do
really.
hire
No, not really.
the.
Not really. Not really. Yeah. So for example, you do your FMP from IIM Ahmedabad, you do your PGDM from IIM Ahmedabad. It's not that you're going to go 5 levels above or 3 levels above. Yeah. Uh, a PhD in a management science is what I'm referring to. If you're doing a PhD in biotechnology and you're joining Biocon kind of a company or a Stride laboratory, it's different. Management sciences in a corporate world do not have a distinct advantage compared to a MBA program, to say so. So it's not that you are going to start as senior manager and I'm going to start as an assistant manager if I'm PGDM from the same college and your PhD. Keep that in mind. However, if you want to excel in an academic world, be a prof, be a director of an institute, PhD is a must-have kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the correct person to say so because I have done my doctorate after 20 years of working. Yeah. So, I would be biased in my answer. Take it with that because I did not have time earlier, and as I told you, in a corporate career, it did not matter. So it was a bucket list for me. So it happened after 20 years of my working, to say so. So my suggestion over there is work for a few years. Firstly, figure out what you want to do in life. At this stage, clarity you won't have. Work for 5 years at least. See whether this, this whole, how do I put it, the whole chaska of doing a PhD is real, or is it something that you did not know much about? Are you enjoying what you're doing? That does that research style appeal to you? Does the academic world appeal to you or not? If you're interested, my suggestion is finish your MBA, work for 5 years, in parallel, try doing some sessions in a B school, etc., to see for yourself whether this is something you enjoy or not. Do you get a kick by doing that or not? Yeah. I've seen enough colleagues, friends, etc., work for 10, 12 years, mid-management, quit and become teachers, professors. In 6 months, they realized that, boss, this is not what I wanted. It appeared very glamorous from outside. Correct? So life is long. You've got 40 years of career. 5 saal jane do. Learn from there, pick it up and do. My own advice to all the people would be that do it from a kick-ass institute if you want to really do a PhD. Okay, because you would have an open university also, a not so known university also, etc., etc. But do it from an university where really आपको रगड़ाते हैं for doing your PhD. Yeah, it could be a Tata Institute, could be an IIT, could be an IIM, could be an institute abroad, doesn't matter. But one of the top class institutes try doing that. Otherwise, PhD is also kind of slowly becoming a commodity over a period of time. Yeah.
Understood.
All right, TEESTA. Yeah. Next questions, please. Meenu, we have time till what time?
So we said 4 o'clock.
Okay.
But if there are questions, happy to
take, of course.
Yes.
That's why these sessions are on weekends, so that we are
Sir?
also relatively, yeah.
Sir, I'm Utkarsh. I have a question.
Yes, Utkarsh.
For the fintech, what all jobs are available presently in India? And sir, what are the skills required for it?
Okay, cool. In a lighter sense, don't take it seriously. Fintech is like a Ekta Kapoor serial. Okay. So the fintech journey is not like a movie ki pura everything is known to the guy. They keep discovering, rediscovering. Okay. I don't think India is matured where you can say that Paytm is a evolved fintech or somebody else is. Okay. So it's an experiment going on. Therefore, the hiring cycle of the fintech is also quarter by quarter. So they are not very clear what they are going to do next year. There are enough fintechs which have hired 300 MBAs last year. Okay. This year, they're not hiring anybody. So keep that in mind because of, early stage of fintech in India, the nature of the jobs, etc., little ad hoc in nature. Okay. For an MBA, there are 3 types of jobs you can get into fintech. One is what is called as product management. Okay. You may not be a programmer, you may not be a guy who understands 3-level architecture or artificial intelligence, but you understand how to write a workflow and how to improve your customer processes because you have a deep insights of customers. Yeah. So therefore, what happens is you are the person who is going to talk a language to a system person to say, this is what I want. Yeah. So those are product management. What kind of features? Why do we need that? Who is your clientele? What is your age group of those guys? Etc. So it's a semi-sales role, let's say systems role to say so. That's one role. That also is very enjoyable role because there you are saying my customer. I'll give you an example. There's a company called Avail Finance, AVAIL, $100 million odd funded company to say so. Now they give loans to bottom of pyramid, drivers, Swiggy people, Zomato people, peons in the organization, जिनकी salary 20,000 rupees ऐसे कुछ है. Okay. Now the product management role is to understand behavior of this set of people, their paying habits, what triggers, what is their familiarity, penetration of your mobiles with these guys to say, correct? What should be your algorithm for driving these guys in terms of credit appraisals? Those kind of things is what product management. That's one area, if I can say so. The second areas are alliances. Whether we alliances, you call it as or inorganic or organic, whatever the name is. As an example, Swiggy cannot run without restaurants, right? Ola cannot run without drivers and cars. Okay. Fintech also has got certain backend for that. Fintechs cannot run without retail outlets, as an example, if you are a payment gateway, correct? Fintechs cannot run with some of the influencers talking about ease of payments and stuff, right? Fintechs cannot run without some early stage startups integrated into that. So you have certain positions where you basically say, I am this, I want to increase my reach, I want to increase my customer base, I want to increase my penetration, I want to increase my use cases. Who are they? What kind of alliance we can have with them, so on and so forth, to say so. Yeah. And that's second. Third would be a classic digital marketing positions. Fintech, 99% marketing happens through social media and web media and etc. Till such time you become very big. There are only one Swiggy, one Zomato, but there are close to 10,000 food apps which are in India, which we don't even know that, correct? So till you become to that stage, I think digital marketing is third area. The fourth area for fintech where some of the finance students can really think about is on the treasury side, borrowing and treasury side. Because in fintech, unlike a traditional company, you have to fund losses for some period of time. You have to fund the loans for some period of time. So, the treasury operations are much more active than what it could be. So these are some things. There are some positions available even in fundraising, because if you see a classic fintech, they go to private equities, VCs, investor relations is important over there. These are some 3-4 roles for fintech to say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good part, Utkarsh, in fintech and new age companies is they're very fungible. You do 6 months product management and go back and say, you know what, I want to learn technology and become your technology architecture. They would be saying, okay, try out. So once you show your flavor, they don't mind experimenting. Yeah. All right. Of course, some of you can make HR career in HR in fintech, because most fintechs have 50% attrition. So hiring is one major challenge over there. So a lot of positions in talent acquisition you do have. Yeah. Disha has some question. Finance tree, my current is on NBFC company, but for finals, I'm looking for a core banking profile. Second term project. Okay. So Disha, you're from which college?
Yes, sir. I'm from Chetnas Institute, Mumbai.
Okay, cool. So Disha, you want me to give a good news, sugar-coated answer or a blunt answer?
Sorry, sir, I can't hear.
Can I give you a sugar-coated answer or a blunt answer?
Blunt answer, sir.
Okay, good. So first, 99% of the jobs which come to the college is in retail banking. There's nothing called core banking. There is retail banking, there is commercial banking, there is treasury. These are the 3 functions in a bank. The nature of retail banking is very close to NBFC. Okay. NBFCs and retail banking have a thin line difference in terms of the products that you can offer. Otherwise, the nature of the business is very similar to each other. The reality is that what kind of project are you getting in an NBFC is what matters. Okay. So the skills that you develop in an NBFC is interchangeable with the skills that you get into retail banking. So Disha, let me be very honest that if 100 positions come to Chetna as an exam, Chetna matlab I'm taking a name, it could be any college, could be MET, could be NM, wherever. If there are 100 positions coming in, 99 of them are in retail banking. One odd position may be commercial banking, but last few years I have not seen it. So when I say retail banking, for all practical reasons, the nature of industry would be similar to NBFC. Did I answer your question?
Okay, yes, sir. So what kind of jobs we can expect from retail banking?
So what is your summer project in an NBFC?
Sir, it is like the company analyzes the other NBFC's financials and help them to leverage their equity.
No, I didn't quite follow. What is again, explain the project company. You don't have to name it, but what is the business of the company?
Okay. So, sir, the company helps in loan syndications of various NBFCs and.
Okay, so the company is, let me put it bluntly, the company is like a boutique investment firm which helps NBFCs to leverage, is it?
Leverage, yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that is not NBFC.
Okay.
That is not NBFC. Okay. That is a proper M&A consulting / a boutique investment firm which helps creating, procuring loans. Okay. And too much of structuring may also not be there. So if I'm understanding, that's not an NBFC where you're working in your summers. Am I right, Disha?
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And if you don't mind in private, just name the name of the company so that I will tell you for sure whether it's an NBFC or not. Okay. Second part is typically in a retail banking for so-called, finance specialization, you can get into what is called as credit appraisal. Okay. Now, credit appraisal is basically following certain principles to figure out whether the people who are applying for the loan or any of your products, should you be giving them, approving it or not approving it? Yeah. So that's one interesting role that one could get into. And I don't want to disappoint you, but realities in NBFC and retail banking, so-called core finance बहुत नहीं होता है. Okay, I know that company, Disha. I know that company.
Yes.
That's not an NBFC. Okay. That's what is called as a DSA. which basically facilitates loans for either NBFC or for high net worth individuals. Okay. So it's broadly a marketing company which helps in procuring loans for some of these companies, helping in structuring, etc. Yeah. Coming back on this, so the typical roles which MBA Finance gets into is, either a wealth management role, which is semi-sales role, or credit role, which is an appraisal kind of a role. Here is my suggestion. We have two of our colleagues on the call, Devesh and Faisal. They are 2019 Chetna pass out who work with me now. Both of them worked in retail bank before joining us. Okay. You may want to connect with them. They'll give you more specifics out of it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So typically it is credit role or a relationship manager role or wealth management role that you get. So coming back to your point, what kind of project? Now, if there is a certification program available on NBFC, okay, which talks about products of NBFC banking, okay, which talks about credit appraisal process, which talks about ROE of NBFCs, okay, which talks about incentives for the frontline sales from an NBFC perspective. Those kind of programs that you have to do, which means should you join the job tomorrow in a bank or NBFC, you are familiar with the working of it. Those kind of certification I would advise. Yeah.
Yes,
Nisha, did
sir.
I answer your question?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Okay, any last couple of questions? All right, cool. Yeah, so I think, Meenu, we would have some email ID where they can reach out to, right? In case they have more questions.
Yes, so you guys would have received some emails from our corporate ID. So feel free to write to that particular ID if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to answer them.
So, all right, guys, don't worry. COVID is for everyone. It's not for one college or second college. Don't overly get psyched with negative news that this company is delaying offer, that company is not giving summers, etc. Don't worry about it. The tool you have is your second summers. You literally have to say that, boss, I don't care if my first summers is not great. No problem. Let me do my second summers. Instead of cribbing and whining, saying, array, summers is bad, what will happen to my final placements, this, that, I would strongly urge that work 12 hours, do that. Okay. And second, don't worry about what's going to happen 6 months from today. Who knows what's going to happen? So don't worry whether ICICI will come or X-Bank will come or IndusInd will come. We'll see tomorrow what happens. Be prepared for that. Because, Disha has asked me this question. 65% of the jobs for MBAs come in retail banking and NBFCs itself. So try doing some certification program or something to get little more ideas into that. Disha, you could also probably look at, for understanding finance and understanding depth of finance, you could probably look at a certification program on equity research as well. And if you are ready to work for 14 hours, do 2 certifications, doesn't matter, but try doing that. Yeah?
Yes, sir, definitely.
All right. Thank you. Over to you, Meenu.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for bringing those questions out. And, when you bring these questions out, there are so many others who are learning this as well. So we will be putting this particular episode on our YouTube channel again. We'll share the links with you. But at the same time, if you think there are other colleagues or other students or, your batchmates who would also find some of these insights interesting, do share this with them and encourage them to join us the next time. So we'll see you all again after 15 days. We'll have a new mentor with some new perspectives and do bring in some more questions that you would want that mentor to kind of address. So thank you so much once again. You all have a good weekend and stay safe.